Okay, I'm Sebastian. I'm with Slovak Telecom, but not today. I'm presenting a hack that I did over the weekend. We basically had a meeting at work where we wanted to map a fixed number and a mobile number, and we had a couple of discussions how to do that best, but all of the things we discussed were either expensive or they took some integration or they were not user-friendly because user had to come to shops physically to present that they own this number, that they own that number. And yeah, it was shortly after I've visited TED Summit and seen some of the excellent presentations and technologies there. And one of them was the hack from the big guys, as you were saying. So the hack that involved also Telestack, Restcom, and some others. And I was thinking how to somehow create some small telecom application that could do number mapping. So map a fixed number to a mobile number. And that is what I want to present today. So the way I've built it is, let me just go there. I've used some tools. So my main service contains of two elements, actually three elements, but one is an external service. So I've built an API using Node.js that is kind of the heart of the service that manages the interaction between all the bits and pieces. I'm using Restcom for handling the interaction with the fixed line. So a fixed line number will call Restcom and then interact with it. And I'm using Nexmo for doing the SMS, incoming and outgoing. I'll explain you in a minute how the service works in detail. And the plan is to use actually, once Restcom has SMS integrated, also use Restcom for the SMS part. It's not yet integrated in like our network, so I've set it up myself on a virtual instance using some other technologies, and that is the setup. So you have a mobile phone interacting with Nexmo, incoming, outgoing SMS. Nexmo interacts with the API I've created. The API is a MongoDB database for storing stuff. We have Restcom interacting, having a phone number being able to be called from a fixed line. And we have as well a web interface that is kind of a mix between a short set of instructions as well as a representation of the data that is in the database. So if we go there in a minute, we'll see what is in, and once we add numbers, how that changes. And the way you can map your number, it's not very complex actually. You send a SMS to Nexmo containing a keyword and the fixed number. So you send link and then your fixed number. And what the service will do is it will create two fields in the database. One is the calling party number, so the number you send it from. That's the mobile number. It will take the fixed number, normalize it, put it in there, and then you have created kind of an initial relation. The service will then send a PIN number to your phone number, so kind of verifying that you actually own the phone. This PIN number is well generated, so that's the second step. And as the third step, you would call the service. It would realize whether you've done it before, whether you've actually done the mapping or not. If you've not mapped it, you'll get an announcement how to do that. And actually, if that would be the third step and you would have activated it, it would recognize this number that you were providing, ask you for your PIN, and once you've entered your PIN, you have actually confirmed that the number's in there. I'll show you in a minute how that works. So let me actually do that right now. So I'm having here a SIP client, BRIA, that is hooked up to Restcom. If I would call the number mapping service now, I would get a message that it's not mapped. Wait a minute. Okay, just give me a second. Hopefully the Wi-Fi didn't expire. Yeah, okay, it's working. I just had to, okay, there we go.
We ask you to send an SMS first and then verify your fixed number.
So yeah, it says like send an SMS first because the number is not in the database. If I would go ahead and send an SMS now with the keyword link and the number. By the way, I can also show you the web front end. So that's the web front end. There's currently only one demo thing for the second part of it. So there's currently only one row. If I send the link with the fixed number, that SMS goes to Nexmo. Nexmo calls the API. My service puts in a database, creates a PIN, sends the PIN back to Nexmo, and Nexmo will respond with the PIN. It takes a minute, hopefully. Not too long.
What's that number you're sending the SMS to?
That's a Slovak number. Sorry, but both numbers are Slovak.
I was getting a little bit worried then about where you were sending the SMS to.
Yeah, it is Slovak number, Slovak phone number from Nexmo, issued from Nexmo, and so both numbers are Slovak. So I did that as a kind of local demo, so that's why I used the public numbers that are reachable. I sent an SMS there. I don't know if that works from non-Slovak phones, but you'll find out. Yeah. So I got the response. It said your PIN is 1332, and if I refresh that page, we can see that from my mobile, which is recognized from the CLI, it sent the PIN 1332, and it's not green, so it's not confirmed. This is the fixed number I claim to own. And if I now call RESTCOM, the same number that I've called before, I hopefully get a different greeting.
Hello and welcome to the TAD number mapping
Yeah, it says
service.
hello and welcome.
Please enter the 4-digit PIN.
Please enter the
key to
PIN. So
confirm your number.
it knows already I'm calling from here. I'm entering 1332.
Data confirmed. Your numbers are mapped.
Data is confirmed.
Thank you for using our service.
Yeah, all right. So if we refresh that page, we see it's got green. By the way, the website interacts using AngularJS directly with the API. And going back to the presentation, yeah, the big part was RESTCOM that did the interaction with the external service. So it was quite nice and very easy to do, very intuitive, because they have a designer in there where you can simply do all the kind of made a small flow chart. And so if the call comes from a number that is not confirmed, that is not available, we will not. We will tell the user to go to the website to register the number to find out how to do that. Once the number is registered, we query the external service, we check the input, we verify it, and in the end, we interact with the service to confirm the number. It has text-to-speech integration by an external service, which was quite good. And yeah, it was rather easy to deploy. As I said, I deployed it myself on the server. I had a minor problem where Jean was helping me with. That was the API key I needed for the text-to-speech, so I've forgotten that. I've actually learned here as well that there's a much easier way to do that, because I've modified all the scripts myself, but there's a startup script for that. So yeah, that was pretty easy to do. It was open source, so I could really, all the components were out there, and yeah, I just need to build the API myself, needed to integrate with RESTCOM that I've set up and Nexmo, and the service was working. And as I said, we've not thought of having a number mapping service, but some part of another service that I cannot talk about. But basically, the idea is, and it's clear that this is just an enabler built using telecom application development. And while being here, we've discussed that should show some service that can actually make use of it. And the idea of such a service would be that in case I don't, I mean, that's again use case dependent, but my use case is I don't want to share my mobile phone number with everyone, but I have they may know my fixed number. So if they call the showcase service in this case, enter my fixed number, the RESTCOM will interact with the API, get my mobile number actually that is mapped, and connect me. And the connection is actually done using Twilio PSTN trunk. And hopefully I can show you that and then conclude the showcase. So if I call the showcase, and again I'm using here the dialer tweets coming in. Okay, all right. So I'm calling showcase.
Let me know the fixed number and press hash.
Fixed number. So if I enter
Connect you with
1, 2, 3, 4, nothing will happen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The person you are trying to reach has not mapped.
So person hasn't mapped the number, and if we try it now with that number, I'm using a different one because I don't want to use the same phone, because then I'll call from it and it'll ring. So I have another phone in my jacket that I'll get out in a minute. And
Let me know the fixed number and press hash.
so if we
We
enter
will connect you with.
02111111 hash,
We found a corresponding.
we found a number.
We are
And-
connecting you now.
Hopefully that's my other phone. That one. Hopefully eventually that will ring. It takes a bit. I don't know why it takes a bit. Probably Twilio's fault, not RESTCOM's fault. But yeah. If I'm lucky, yeah, you see, it's ringing, and hello, test. Yeah. So it's working as well. So it does the interaction. It does set up the call, and it uses the zip trunk from Twilio to dial out. So that was pretty exciting. That didn't take much time to do it, and yeah, I think it's a nice small example how even people in telecoms that want to try things out have, thanks to the TAD hack or all the cool applications and platforms out there, actually much more potential to do things that are different to what how we used to do things, right? Write an RFP, get answers, and then all these kind of things. So I'm quite happy to be able to demonstrate that here. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, if you have questions, shoot.
That's excellent, Sebastian. So when's the PO for So, any quick questions?
Let's go get the dean. Not so much a question, but I thought that was an excellent example of how you can take something which is very difficult to do on a conventional proprietary platform, and using tools like RESTCOM, Telestacks, you can build these things very quickly, very easy.
Yeah.
And it's illustrating the power of open source.
Definitely,
good
yeah.
Example. I can think of, 20 different variations on a theme, very similar to the one that you've done there, all of which can be really quite useful.
Yeah.
So well done, Sebastian.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, on that note, again, let's show appreciation. That was great.
Thanks. Cool. All right.